What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mr. Straight Facts Show. And let's just get right in it. Today was crazy as always with this Trump regime. The president of El Salvador had a meeting looking like a, a pimp from like 1978, with the purple socks. And it was just insane how this dude looked. They talked about how uh, my man came from Ukraine, what he looked like. This dude had on a suit, but looked like, what's his name? Sugar Bear. Or Shuggy Bear, how do you say his name? I can't remember his name right now. But that's what he looked like, a straight pimp. And they didn't say nothing. What do you got on purple socks for, bro? You the president of a country, and you come here looking like you just stepped out of some kind of club and shit, was dancing disco or some shit. Hey, Lynn, how you doing? So it's just insane to me how this party has its insane like standards. You got a man that's in war that comes dressed to respect his soldiers so that he doesn't look like, he's out here having a party and looking good while they're out there risking their lives. Every president in war pretty much has done that. Not in the United States, but all over the world. Now, in the United States earlier on, World War II and I, the president is dressed in gear as if they were soldiers. But for some reason, these Republicans have an issue with that. But they have no issue with the dude who looks like a drug lord being a president. No issues. Paid him $6 million to take our people, our Americans. I don't know these gang members from Adam, if they are gang members. I don't trust Trump or his team. All I know of them to be is Venezuelan. If that, they may not all be Venezuelan. They're just Latin looking people. I have no idea, and neither do you. They have not given proof that any of these people were ever in a gang. Ever. They haven't provided the courts with it. They didn't give them due process, so they can't tell whether these people are good for what they did, what they think they did, or nothing. It could have been anybody just on the street looking Latin. It could have been 7 Latin people just sitting around the corner at Home Depot looking for a job. They just scooped them all up. We don't know who these men are. And their call for that when they first started was anybody 14 and older. There are children in this prison. Children 14 years old and older. America, I don't know what y'all need to do if you don't have the heart to want to have somebody's child brought back home. And if you have a problem with it, due process is the way we go about it in this country. Unless you wanted a dictatorship. Because that's what it seems like to me. Every day I wake up, it is shocking to me that this country is in a phase where we are negotiating going against the Constitution. We are like negotiating it. It should be something that all of us is like, whoa, that's crazy. Everybody should be in an uproar. And people are on the street when they're talking to people, whether it's Don Lemon talking to them or anybody else. And these people are like, well, it's going to get better. How? Explain to me how it's going to get better. Donald Trump isn't showing you that he's going to do anything better. He hasn't even proven what he's done was right. All they see is somebody different than them. They're not white, so obviously something's wrong with them. They're criminals. You know what trips me out about this whole entire thing? Donald Trump is a criminal. Not a question. He already had his due process. He went through his due process, and he was convicted by his peers of 34 felonies. And he thinks he should be free. You got these Latin men arrested for something that they don't even have a felony for. They haven't went through court for. You just got a bunch of white men and women together to just round up Latin people. And without due process, you're breaking the laws. Is that what they hired him for? To break laws? Because they're too tired of the laws going too slow? So white America, racist white America, and the white nationalists, and all those other cultures and races that want to assimilate with white power, you guys are sick of bad like criminals. How can you be sick of criminals when you have no problem electing one? You elected a rapist, a person who was accused. I mean, a rapist 2 times over, right? You got the one lady they did in Bergdorf's store, and his ex-wife who had said that he did it, but then all of a sudden recanted, and then got paid for the rest of her life, even though he got married to other women. He has a history of it. A 13-year-old girl, or she was older than that, but she complained about him and Jeffrey Epstein brutally raping her. She complained about it. It's a court order. There's a court not order, but a case about it. It was dropped, but again, the girl went into detail. You can go look it up if you want. Went into detail about it. It fits the pattern. We got about 30 women who said they just grabbed him by the you know what. He said it on a freaking camera and a microphone. Even though he was on the bus, you didn't see him. You heard his voice. I grab him by the pussy. I kiss him. I just can't help myself. Sounds like somebody who's a freaking like freak. And they voted for that to be the president of the United States. The most powerful man in the world is a deviant. And you're talking about Latin men that have never been proven to do any of those things. You got a man in Kilmar Abrego, right? What's his last name? Garcia, who's a dedicated father. He's got pictures hugging and loving on his family. You don't see Donald Trump hugging and loving on nobody. So you got this narcissist as the president. Total asshole. Doesn't care about anybody. But, oh, listen to Bill Maher. And he's a good, funny guy. We'll get to Bill Maher in a second. That's a piece of shit human. I hope he sees it. You are a piece of shit human. You always act like you're just super smart as shit. I'm going to call you what you are right now. A pussy. Straightforward. Pussy. You're scared of him. So therefore you went to go meet him alongside Bob, you call him, Kid Rock. And then his thing, if you go see his intro, he's like, I didn't expect he was going to be nice. Man, shut the fuck up. What you expect him to do? Just slap you when he saw you? Throw you in a cage or something? And because he didn't do that, oh, he's not that bad of a person. How stupid is that? How's a grown-ass senior citizen who done had enough time on this earth to know when somebody's gaslighting him, come back on a stage and give us the gaslight of the nation from that dude? It's insane. And he always try to talk about liberal this and liberal that. Dude, you are a traitor to your country. 100%. Because we aren't mad at the system. We're mad at him for fucking the system up. The system needs its own working. It actually demonizes black people. It puts us in bad situations, people of color. But for some reason, criminals, rapists, you have no problem breaking bread with. But you got problems with people who are trans playing sports. But you ain't got no problems to break bread with a person who done broke 34 laws and have raped women and accused of being with, what's his name, Jeffrey Epstein. All those negative things don't matter to you. Because I'm sorry, sir, I won't break bread with somebody who raped somebody. I don't condone it. And that's exactly what you did. You sat down with a rapist. That's for other rap, for the other like TikTok. I'll say it on YouTube. You sat down with a rapist. And you act like, oh, he was nice. Boy, I thought this man was smart. I really wanted to, nobody was asking him that on the show. I wanted to ask him the question, what the fuck did you think he was going to do? You're sitting next to Kid Rock, who's donated money to him, has kissed his left nut for over a year, and you're cool with Mr. Done kissed his left nut, and you want to sit here and tell us, oh, well, we just had to squash it. I knew he was a simp the minute he broke out a piece of paper and said, he signed all of the things that he said about me. You look like a bitch at that moment. Who gets an autograph from somebody who's a rapist and a criminal? I don't give a fuck what he calls himself and what people put him in the position. He will never be more than a rapist and a criminal. I don't care whether you call him president or what. He's still a rapist. He's still a criminal. Point blank, period. He has not said that I'm sorry for it. He has not done time for it. None of that. You don't escape that. And anybody that goes and breaks bread with a rapist or a criminal that has been convicted of it, not a situation where it's like, possibly, it could be. No, convicted of it. And you're like, oh, well, he's the president. That's his problem. No respect for the president. None. I wouldn't go to the man's grave. If I was on fire, I want him to save his liquids. Don't spit on me. Don't do nothing. Let me burn. Because that's just something that's just a bridge you shouldn't cross. And then you see these white men and women literally capitulate and then say, well, I was just trying. Shut up. We don't want to hear about your just tryingness. We don't care about that, Bill. You're a piece of shit human, period. And you're going to say, oh, these libs and these wokes. First of all, I want to also, if he ever gets to see this, Bill Maher, I know you like to date black women, but when you call woke, you literally saying the N-word. Nobody's ever told you this shit yet, which kills me that you guys walk around acting like you really give a fuck about all people and that you're not a racist. Woke means the N-word. If you don't notice, every time they talk about woke, it's always a black person. When I get on a plane, if it's a black pilot, if I go to the hospital and there's a black woman doctor, they're talking about black people. Even you have said it, Bill. So why is it that you think woke and the woke mentality is something other than calling somebody the N-word and incapable of doing something based on their race or gender? Yeah, piece of shit human. I used to like watching him back in the day till I started seeing him move toward that way. And the reason why I started seeing him move that way is because white men, especially powerful white men, they get tired of being the center of attention for fuck up. Why don't you just change from being a fuck up instead of trying to justify your fuck up and say everybody else is bad? You don't care about no trans person playing no sport. You ain't gonna never play it, and you don't have any kids, so don't act like you give a fuck. It is a way for white men and racist people to unite. Oh, we got something in common finally. Now we got something in common. We hate these people. You don't realize that you guys have united over hate? You haven't united over anything worth a damn. It's hate that you've united over. And at the same time, Bill Maher's trying to get people to say, why don't we just kind of like stop fighting? Man, shut the fuck up. You just said literally, let's just stop standing for what we stand for and come down in somewhere in the middle and kind of understand where they're coming from. Nobody's going to come down from being in a situation where you think we're too hoity-toity because we believe in righteousness for people, caring about people, letting people be who the fuck they are, letting them play the sport they want to play. You think that's some kind of hoity-toity thing. But in reality, you're literally trying to do exactly what people did in the 80s. In the 80s, people were like, oh, gay people don't like it. They were beating them and killing them and telling them they couldn't do certain things. You're doing the exact, can't be in the military. Exact same shit to trans people. Exact same shit. By the time it got to the 90s and mid-90s, that stuff was like, man, everybody got a gay person in their family, a friend or something. Man, get over that shit. It was gone. Then the Republicans gave y'all somebody else to hate. You guys operate on hate. What else do you hate? Because that's the only way you guys ever come together. There's no love in what y'all talk about. The love is the love of your hate. If you heard him speak, all he talked about, his topics that he cares about, is hating other people. The woke is basically hating on other people's ideals of how life should be, because on your situation, you don't want to grow from when you were 13 and the world has changed. You still want it to go back to the way it was. Well, dude, you're closer to death. Ain't nobody trying to do the same shit. If that was the case, we'd all be living in fucking caves. Because they didn't want shit to change, I'm sure. Oh, why are we going to live under a tree? Why don't we just go back to the cave? Why are we going to live in a hut? Why are we going to live in a house? Let's go back to a hut. The fuck is wrong with these people? Why do we want a better life? Because the past life wasn't so fucking great. not for everybody. As it becomes better for every person, some people who had it excellent are going to have it average. And that's your problem. You don't want to have this average life where you used to be able to slap a woman on her ass, where you used to be able to force yourself on a woman, when you used to be able to do all, the drugs you want at work. Shit in the 80s used to be, people be doing it all the time. I was in the entertainment industry after the 80s. I was in there during the 90s, and they were all talking about their heyday in the 80s where they have a pile of this white stuff where everybody can just take a break and go, snort shit. That was back in those days. It's gone. Let it go. Let it go. But that's the problem. They don't want to let it go. They want to hold on to the past and force everybody to have that same ideology of the 80s and of the 70s. That shit's gone, bro. The 50s, that's gone. Everybody in your family's probably dead. Why are you still holding on to shit that they went through? It's a better life right now. So when I saw him on this show, and this one, I don't know what he was. I guess he was a representative. I don't think he was a senator, but whomever this guy was, I had never really seen him. He was trying to be nice to Bill Maher. I would have said, fuck all that nice shit. You're a simp. Maybe you don't know what that means, but you're a simp. I would have asked him, how did his nuts taste? Because that's pretty much what you did. What did they taste like? Were they salty? Were they wrinkly as we thought they were? Huh? Exactly. That's what I think of Bill Maher. Piece of shit human. That's what he is. 100%. And I don't care. I ain't even on no far left or no far middle. I'm just straight facts. There's no way in hell you can go sit down and have dinner and break bread with a dude that can rape people and then tell me he's a nice guy. He was fun to me. Okay, well, why don't you grow a vagina and see if he would have grabbed you that night? It kills me how these people just try to rationalize and make these people like somebody. No, I would not be sitting down with Ted Bundy breaking bread. Well, I know he did that, what he did, but he was kind of cool with me. Ugh, just horrible human beings, yo. Horrible. It ain't got shit to do with politics. It has everything to do with humanity. Fuck politics in that situation. Humanity. All the crap this man has done to human beings. Didn't pay them. Many of them unalived themselves because they couldn't pay their bills. They lost their house. They lost their home. They lost their families because of you, Donald Trump. And you got Bill Maher coming out trying to make him seem like he was kind of human. He was nice to me. The same dude that sued you. The same dude that tried to put you in jail. But now that, Bob has hooked you guys up like on your little date and got y'all to kind of like squash it and what did he get signed of yours? You're a comedian. He said you was kind of smart. Is that all it took? It's crazy. And then he talks about like, it's not a big deal. Then why'd you record it? Why'd you make a big deal of it? Why did you record it? Video, pictures, and shit like that. It's no big deal. Man, you guys are fucking hypocrites. No big deal. But you recorded it and then had to come back, and your first show, you had to report on it. Keep it quiet if it was nothing. You make it into something, you make money off of it, and then you get on and tell everybody else with like self-righteous, telling them, oh, you guys don't have to patronize me. Fool, you didn't have to bring this back to us. We don't give a flying shit whether you go talk to him or lick his left nut. Why'd you bring it up? If you wanted us to not care about it, you brought it up because that was a shining moment for you. You were squashing a beef with somebody who's white, just like you, somebody who's rich, just like you. And then you want to come on and still try to cling on to your audience and act like you're the same man you were before you went. You are not. You are a different person because the one we used to know would never meet with him. This is the one we know now, the one that, your friend Bob has probably talked to you about it over and over again. He's cool with me. He's cool with me. He's cool with me. Not with me. He doesn't like me. And you wanting to be on the in crowd, even though you're rich, you decide to go hang out with the racist in chief, the rapist in chief, the 34th felon in chief. Yeah. Anyway, I'm done with that dude. I'm done with him. Hopefully he sees it or somebody sees it. At him or whatever. Piece of shit. All right, let's get back to what happened today. Donald Trump is on his dictator game. Just like we said, we've been saying it the entire time. This guy who has a son, or at least a daughter, I mean, a child. I don't know if it's a son or daughter because I didn't get too deep into his family. But he has family. One of them, a disabled wife. You can see he loves his family. Takes pictures with him and everything like that. Donald Trump doesn't. The Supreme Court, 9-0. Now, here's the thing that amazes me. All of these Supreme Court people are in Donald Trump's pockets except for 4. It's like a 5-4, I think it is. Or is it 6-3? It's 5-4, I think it is. Something like that. But anyway, there's a majority of them. Republicans who gave him immunity. They're in his back pocket. It's amazing to me that 9-0, they literally said, bring this man back. And he still didn't do it. Brought the president of said country, El Salvador, and they both played like, I can't do it. Well, I can't do it. Well, I can't do it. Well, how the hell did you get him there if you can't do shit? If you can get all these people and record it like you had like the documentary of the year. I mean, Americans, you guys don't see that this is like Hitler 2.0. They're literally recording this shit like it's a documentary, like they're doing something great for America. It's all production and all shit. Like it had Dr. Phil doing some stuff. I'm like, this is a production. This is entertainment for them. To destroy these men's lives for entertainment. The fuck is America about? What is America? I mean, I'm serious. Why are you proud to be an American when this shit can go on and there's nothing that we can do about it? The Constitution be damned. If you don't give a fuck about the Constitution, then go hand your guns to the government. Go hand them. Give your free speech away. Why fucking vote? Do rights, throw them away. I don't understand how Americans, fuck politicians, Americans I'm speaking to, how can you throw away your rights? Because you think that it's just happening to them? No, ma'am. No, sir. If Donald Trump cannot pay attention to the laws of the land, he can take you and not have to worry about ever being held responsible for it. And you don't think it's possible that he wants to take you? Okay. You think I'm bullshitting you. There's no reason to bullshit you. You could just hear it from the fat dude's mouth. You can hear it from it. Because this is what he said today. Where is that? It's going to come up.
Facilities, very strong facilities, and they don't play games. I'd like to go a step further. I mean, I said it to Pam. I don't know what the laws are. We always have to obey the laws, but we also have homegrown criminals that push people into subways. That
homegrown, he's a criminal. Can we kick him out? I mean, you're talking about these people have done one bad deed. You got 34 counts against you. On top of that, you got a rape case that was against you. On top of that, you got an accusation of rape from your ex-wife that they let go. On top of that, you got Jeffrey Epstein, and you was on his plane, not only that, partying with him, and you won't release all the names who was on that plane. And on top of that, if you look at the documentary, there's at least one child that recognizes you and Jeffrey Epstein when she was 13, that you guys brutally raped. That's what she said. Wasn't proven, but that's what she said. Now, why wouldn't we believe that? Why the fuck would we believe him? He lies too fucking much. And he's been caught doing all of that. Oh, I forgot. And he's got 34, like 30 or 32, I think it is, women who said that he's grabbed them by the pussy. How in the hell do we believe one man over all these like 40 people? None of them asking for money. What is their motivation?
hit elderly ladies on the back of the head with a baseball bat. when they're not looking that are absolute monsters. I'd like to include them in the group of people to get them out of the country.
Yeah, right. He cares about them being criminals. He don't care two shits about them. I would like to include him in getting them out the country. In fact, I would like to include him and all racist white people to get the fuck out the country. That's what I would like to include, because it's you guys who fucked this country up. Everybody else is good. Everybody else is good. It is you. You're the problem. If we got rid of all of y'all, this country would be a better country, more fair country, a country that cares about people, and would be a country that can have disagreements without being disagreeable. But no, you can't have and this is what I think about with Bill Maher. Some of them are racist. Shut up. You're racist. You're going to say some of them are racist. You don't even realize that you're saying the N-word over and over again. And you're going to try and tell other people what racism is. This is what kills me a lot of times. When people try to conflate what racism is and prejudice and all the shit like that goes down the line. Racism requires power. What other race in this country has power? Not black. So you could be a bigot. You could be prejudiced. But how can you be racist? Just because you don't like a race, you say something about them? That's prejudice and bigotry. But the moment that I can stop you from getting a job because you're white, the moment that I can stop you from getting a loan to get a house because you're white, the moment that I can put you in jail twice as long as I put in jail a black person or a Latin person for the exact same fucking crime, then you can call me a racist. But before then, you can't call me that. You can call me bigoted, you can call me prejudiced, but you can't call me racist. Because those things don't apply to anybody who looks like me. It just doesn't happen. Always wanting to make the game fair for them by taking away everybody else's terms so that it applies, they can use it. Oh, it's a horrible thing to call somebody racist. We can use it against them. No, you can't. That power play, you can try all you want, but you cannot. They always want to take terms and make them something that they're not. When was the last time any of my family members enslaved down the past enslaved any of you? Never. So please stop trying to equate shit. We've all had tragedies and all kinds of things in different countries, and even in this one to some degree. Nobody's trying to belittle those things. You don't hear us trying to compare ourselves to the Holocaust. Two separate tragedies. But you'll hear people from Jewish cultures be like, well, we're just as, why are you competing? This shit ain't no competition. You had the worst shit happen to you in Germany. That's the country you need to be pissed off about. This country saved you. That country fucked you. Those are the people that did that to you. In this country, it is only black folk that went through that. So yeah, you're right. It happened over there. Didn't happen here. So please stop trying to compare the shit. It was horrible. Hitler was horrible. Right now, we got a Hitler in office. And Jewish people should recognize that shit. If you know anything about your history, you should be the ones ringing a bell. Why are black people letting you know that your ancestors and what they went through is happening again? How the fuck don't you recognize that? Because you got so close to racist white people that you want to become them in this country, that you don't even recognize that they're doing it again. Some of them are, but most of them are not. If they are, they're keeping quiet, which makes no sense. You should be the loudest. You should be the ones educating everybody, but I don't see it. Too scared to say it. It's insane. You're the ones who've been through it. You know exactly how this went down. Your grandparents told you, and you're recognizing it again, and you're shutting your mouth. It's insane, yo. I'm tired of it. I'm really tired. So, Donald Trump just said he wants to send American citizens who break laws. What did I say about Hitler before? These are the same things Hitler did. He started criminalizing people for shit that wouldn't have been criminalized. Dissent, anybody who didn't agree with him, and then he broke down their constitution so that the laws did not matter. He became the law. What is Donald Trump doing? Supreme Court 9-0. Even his sycophants who he put in office that gave him immunity said, yo, you got to bring him back. And what did Donald Trump say? Fuck y'all. And if this stands, which it looks like it is as of now, democracy's gone. It's a constitutional crisis. Now, a constitutional crisis is either where there's two powerful parties, whether it be of the House and Senate, or the president and the legislative, being the Supreme Court, those two equally powerful butting heads saying, I'm not going to do it. Yeah, you are. No, I'm not. Yeah, you are. So they're at a stalemate. That's a constitutional crisis, because whenever the law of the land, the Supreme Court, says this is A, then the president can't say it's B. He must follow with the A. He doesn't veto it. He follows with the law. And now it's like the law says this is the law of the land. And he's like, no, I have to do it. And guess what? Our Supreme Court only has power to say this is the law of the land. They have no way to enforce it. Who thought of this shit? That they couldn't have power of the military in a situation like this as a constitutional crisis. There can't be a tiebreaker. Well, the tiebreaker is supposed to be the House and Senate, the Congress. American people gave these MAGA people full power. And you wonder why the world is flipping upside down. We got a bunch of idiots running the country. And not only just regular idiots, evil idiots. They're willing to F over everybody. They only want power and money. Care less about the rest of them. And the thing that kills me is that they got racist and sympathizers of racists and white nationalists. They got them in their pockets. Because they got them stuck on hatred that they can't even get unwind themselves and find love for their own selves, for their own life. You got many of these people. I'm gonna lose the farm. Would you vote for him again? I don't know, maybe. Stick to corn, son, because brains is not a thing that you own. Stick to corn, because Jesus Christ, how can you literally say that what he's thrown into place is messing up your farm and you're about to lose it and you knew he was going to throw on tariffs, but if he did it again, you'd vote for him again? You have got to have strong hate for a black woman to sit there and set yourself up for failure on purpose after finding out he fucked you. Oh, I'll try it again. Maybe he won't fuck me as much. Wow. It's amazing to me. I don't know about y'all, but I'm going to keep it 100. I remember in 2015, I believe, everything was going good. You know what I'm saying? My business was going well. I was, doing a lot of things, having a good time. And me and my homie used to hang out, just had these chats, sometimes about politics, about life and things of that nature. And Hillary Clinton, or 2014, 15, whatever it was, Hillary Clinton and Trump were running for office. And I listened to Trump. I listened to Hillary. I listened to Bernie Sanders. And I'm like, okay, it was a big Bernie, ride. And I started listening to him. I liked him. I just didn't think he was going to win because I didn't know all about him at the time. But I had to get myself up to speed. And we used to talk all the time. And one of the things that I misread in this country, because the way it was in 2014 and 13 and all that, 2008 to 10 and all that, there was this bubble of America is getting better. There was this bubble of racism's there, but it's starting to the fight is starting to get better. It's hard, don't get me wrong, but it's starting to get better. All we got to do is keep going forward, and we can get to a better place. We had started having conversations about certain different things. Reparation conversation was happening to some degree. Different states were trying to figure it out. Other states was just hateful toward it and all that. But at least that conversation was on the table in certain states. Before it wasn't. So life was like seemed like it was moving toward a different place. I had a lot of, white friends. I still do, but friends who were Republican, Democrat. We didn't even talk about our political affiliations whatsoever. We were just good and cool people. In comes Trump. Before he gets into the presidency, just into the atmosphere. And at work or at the barbershop, at the malls, whatever the hell you went, you just started seeing this ripple effect of people just being ornery and disrespectful. Just like, what the fuck? This is before he became a president. This was him gassing them up and giving them this feeling like white supremacy is coming back. And I told my friend, I said, yo, man, he's like, Trump's going to win. I was like, boy, please. America don't move past that shit, bro. He's like, nah, man, I think he's going to win. If you've been hearing the people that I've been hearing, dude, all different races. He's like, because he was in the hospitality industry, so he saw a lot of people coming in to hotels and different things of that nature. Because he worked for multiple, he was the head manager of them, and he said, dude, it's weird. Got a lot of people just like they into Trump, and it's more wealthier people. He said they're into Trump. And I was like, how can they be into Trump? The dude's racist as fuck. And I'm thinking the country's moving forward. Boy, was I wrong. Trump opened up the floodgates for racist people to come out and for people who aren't racist to assimilate with races based on issues that have nothing to do with race but has to deal with hate. They didn't like women. They don't like, and this is these weak men. They don't like women or strong women. They don't like black women. They don't have a problem with, abortion. They want to get rid of women's rights. They don't want women to vote. This last time they ran for office, they had like I don't know if it was a Charlie Kirk venue, I think it was. The guy was saying something to the effect that, we need to get back to the place where there was only one person in the house to vote. So if you're married, your kids can't vote even if they're voting age. Your wife can't vote even if she's a voting age. But if you're living in the same house, only the man can vote. Makes the decision for the entire family. I was like, what the fuck? Are we trying to go back to the 40s or something? 30s, 20s? What the hell are they talking about? They said this shit out loud on a camera all over YouTube. And I'm like, how in the hell is this shit surviving? I don't see how there isn't an uproar, like a revolution. People just manning up and walking around saying, nah, that shit ain't gonna happen, bro. That ain't gonna happen. It's gonna really be a civil war up in this bitch. You trying to take my rights away. None of that. Just sat there and just played it off like, they just, I guess, playing. Even the media sounds like something that is just talking bluff. I'm like, when are you guys gonna learn? This fool doesn't talk bluff. He doesn't talk. Everything you guys say, he hear him say, he said, well, he didn't come to fruition. No, the plan is still in place. It's still coming to fruition. There's nothing that this man has ever uttered out of his mouth that wasn't a heat check. He said this right here, that regular citizens, American citizens, if they break the law, he's going to send them to a max prison, which is basically a hole in which you disappear in. You'll never get out. It's max prison with a bunch of terrorists and killers. That was a heat check. You don't think that's going to happen? You crazy. That is going to happen. And on top of that, it already has happened. We're talking about the man right now whom they're trying to say committed crimes and has no record and won't bring him back. And they admitted they effed up. But then when they say, oh yeah, we effed up, it was a clerical. I don't give a damn if it was clerical. I don't give a damn what it was. Intangible. I don't give a fuck. It's a mistake. The man should be at home with his family, sleeping next to his wife. And these tyrants are taking people and disappearing them. Have a woman they just pulled off the street. Family didn't know where she was at. I'm tired of these people not realizing, look, What's to keep you exempt? You didn't think this man was going to tax you so much or put so many tariffs on you that you're going to be losing your farm. You didn't think you was going to lose your job. You thought everybody else was. But you got caught up in it. So tell me this, Mr. White Man with the Latin last name, Garcia, why you don't think they're going to snatch your ass up? You blonde hair and blue-eyed, but you got Garcia in your name. Why you don't think they're going to snatch you up? It's just a matter of time before they get you. Mr. Trump voter, didn't think it was going to happen to you. Why don't y'all open your fucking eyes and see how many of these Trump voters are having their lives destroyed? Another Trump voter, his wife was Latin. He thought, or Latin, I think it's either Latin or she was an immigrant. And went out of the country, thought he was going to be able to bring his wife back. It's like, bro, you voted for Trump. He said he was taking immigrants. Did you think your wife was not one? These people not connecting. Not connecting. Their stairs go up, but there's nothing but a brick wall at the end of the stairs. There's no second floor. There's nothing there on that second floor at all. It's just a brick wall. These people don't realize, and I don't get it. How do you not recognize when somebody tells you they're going to do something and then they end up doing it? How do you not realize that you just fell for what he just said he's going to do? But for some reason, you thought it wasn't going to be you? Bro, you work for the government. Bro, you work for a company that has contracts with the government. Why didn't you think they were going to get you? And you try to educate them on that, and they still in the dark. My thing is this. I really look at it as like, those of us who have sense, we're the ones going to have to gang up and be like, you know what? We're going to have to find solutions for us and leave those batshit crazy people out of it. As Trump starts to like ruin lives, we'll have our lives intact. They're the ones going to get affected the most by their dumb decisions. Because if they don't learn from this, they're gone. There's no ever getting them back. And at this point, for me, you know what I'm saying? I don't want them back. I mean, they're defective. I mean, tell me if you really want to purchase something that's broken. Do you want something on your team? Would you go get a player? You're going to play basketball and all your people you pick are like pros. You know, you got LeBron James and Jordan, you know, no matter what age, Jordan, you know what I'm saying? You bring back Patrick Ewing. And then on the other team, you know, you're going to sit there, well, your last person you pick, are you going to pick another star or are you going to pick a dude in a wheelchair? Dude in a wheelchair ain't going to be able to do shit. This is not, you know, another type of game. This is like for pros. And these dudes are picking like the wackest president. And they're going to sit there like, oh, you don't have an A team, dude. You got a freaking Z team. This dude is an idiot. And everybody else is like looking up to him. That's scary. How can you be bright at math or at computer programming, finances, and be rich and still be stupid? I tell you, you're not attached to any feelings. All you care about is money. And you'll run into a fire. You'll get next to a grenade. And you don't care. I'll lose one leg, but I'll still be rich. That's what they put first. Forget life. Forget happiness. Forget joy. Forget caring about people. If I can get to the bag and lose as little as possible, I'm good. Forget these people liking me. Like Candace Owens back on her I'm Black Again tour. Fuck, nobody give a fuck about what you I'm black again. Get the fuck out of here. It's insane, people. It is really insane how I don't want them. I really don't. I mean, people say, oh, well, we got to try and get back. Nah, dog, no, we don't. No, we don't. If you can be this defective, you're about as useful to us as a crackhead. I mean, because all it takes is for somebody to put you on that hate drug and you back out there fiending for hate. That's something you just going to have to fall apart on your own for, then come back. You're going to have to fall apart. Just like any addict alcohol, drugs, sex, whatever addict, you got to hit rock bottom before you realize you done fucked up your life. So I am not, I have no empathy because you haven't learned. I'm joyful that you're losing your farms. I'm joyful that you can't feed your families. I'm joyful that you can't send your kids off to college. Why? Because the part of the joy is you've hit rock bottom or you're getting close to it. And hopefully that rock bottom will wake you the fuck up. Because you being in your comfort zone, still being able to afford these things and blaming everybody and their mama, and now you realize it's your man that did it, maybe then when you hit rock bottom and you can't feed your family, maybe you'll wake the fuck up. And then figure out a way to get back on your feet. There's a better story for you on the other side. But you're going to have to hit rock bottom first. And that's why I'm joyful for it. When these people are talking about their lives are falling apart, I'm happy. Yes, that one dude got on there and said, oh, you guys, really, it's too bad that you guys, I got friends who are Republicans and I care about them. I don't give a fuck. I don't care about that. You're destroying, you thought you were going to vote for somebody that's going to destroy other people's lives and not yours. And here it is. I guarantee you what Donald Trump has done has destroyed some Latin people's lives. I know it has. Look at it. The family's falling apart and everything. They voted for it. I feel bad for the ones who didn't vote for him. White people who've had it. Black people have had it. Everybody who's voted for him have gone through it. And other people who are not voting for him are going through it. But do you hear them speaking? They hustling. They're trying to change their lives. They know that this dude got their number and they're working their ass out of it. I haven't heard one black person come out and say, I voted for him. My life is fucked up. Can you help me? I don't see that. I see a bunch of white people doing it. I'm losing my farm. You voted for him? Yeah, shut the fuck up. We don't care. If you voted for your own demise. That's like me saying, you getting mad that you put a needle in your arm and you're dying. It's like, I'm dying. I'm like, dude, you put the needle there. What the fuck you want me to do? You're the one who put it in yourself. I can call the doctor, but I ain't give you no CPR. You did that to yourself. I would definitely call 911 for you. But I'd be damned if I put my hands on you. Don't put yourself in bad position. Listen to people who gave a fuck about you before you had to get to that drug of hate. There were so many black people and Latin people and good white people were telling you the entire time, you're voting against your own best interest. And you said fuck you to them. You called them names. You called them simps. You called them everything in the book. And they weren't doing it to hate on you. They were doing it to love on you. And you're the one who had to hate. So what did we do? Return it back to you. Called you idiots because we're sitting here like, dude, this is your life you're messing with. You don't know how to handle this. I'm black. I know how to handle this shit. I grew up from poor. And not white poor, not Latin poor, black poor. You think you would know. They ain't nothing like black poor. Because the opportunities ain't really out there for you like that. You really got to go find them. And when black poor people, black middle class people don't came from poverty, tell you something, you better take that shit as gold. Because it's going to be easier for you than it is for them. They give you the key and you white, you got more opportunities. Apply that shit. Quit trying to compete. Black people don't want to be this great at surviving. We just had to do it because there was no other choice. That's why we say make $1 out of 15 cents. We're the best on the planet to do that. Just like when they said Jesus split bread and fed 5,000. You don't know. Jesus was a black woman in that situation. To ask a black poor mother how she fed all her kids. That was some Jesus stuff. If you believe in that. She done broke bread and fed 4 or 5 kids. Something that wouldn't feed one person, fed 5. That's how black women do. Work miracles. So listen to them when they talk. They know what the fuck they're talking about. The most wisest human being on the planet is a black woman. That's 100%. She knows how to survive. 100. She knows how to turn a dollar out of 15 cents into a dollar. Not that poor people haven't had their opportunity, but I'm telling you, it's a whole different world. And let it be a black single mother. And you ain't got nothing on it. No disrespect to anybody, but you ain't got nothing on them. They work miracles. It's just, I can't have any sympathy for people who keep shooting themselves in the foot. We have literally every year of my life, my voting life, I have voted for the best interest of all people. When I hear somebody say, "Oh, that's gonna be bad for gay people. That's gonna be bad for this," I'll be like, "I'm voting for the other dude." I'm like, "This right here ain't gonna bother me none. This ain't gonna bother me none. This ain't gonna bother me none. Oh, that's gonna hurt that person. I'm voting for the other dude." Because why? Because if you don't have any plans, at least one for my people, why am I voting for you? If you have no plans for no people and just yourself, why would I vote for you? I don't care what party you in. That's why I say to people, it's like, look, there's a time in my life I could have went Republican, but they never had any plans. They never had any plans. I was a business owner, doing a lot of business and stuff like that, in the entertainment industry, had my own studio and all stuff like that, and I could save money. But I was like, if it's only about money, then I don't want to be a part of your party. Because again, people make you money. The money don't make money. People make you money. And if you focus on the money, that means you're saying F you to the people. And that's why I could never be a part of that party. That party cares about nobody but dollar signs. That's it. And they love each other because all they care about amongst each other. They had a saying, they still do, is like that Democrats have to fall in love and Republicans fall in line. And they thought of that as a joke toward Democrats and liberals. Democrats have to fall in love. We just fall in line. And then they call you the sheep? You fall in line. No, we fall in love with it. That's a good thing. Because it has to be a thing that benefits me. That's going to help me or somebody in my family or somebody I love. Why the hell would I vote for something just to fall in line with somebody else if it's not going to benefit me? I was like, they thought that was a flex. That Democrats fall in love and all they have to do is fall in line. They thought they were better than Democrats. That is the most idiotic, craziest batshit shit. I'm like, no wonder I could never be a Republican. I care about people too much. I can't sit here and be like, oh, I'm gonna fall in line with you. For what? So you trying to tell me and this is, I think it was Tara Setmeyer or something like that. She's a black Republican. And she said this many years ago, and she was kind of cracking a joke, but she was not on Trump's side anymore. But she was talking about Democrats need to get in line and do the right thing. And she was like, she had set her PAC up, her super PAC or something she's got, and she's like, we got to get some of that Republican us like falling in line. And I'm like, no, ma'am, no, we don't, We gotta, when we fall in line, it's fall in line around things that are going to happen that are good for our people, right? And our people mean American citizens. Our people meaning black men, black women, Latin men, because each one of us has different things. Women have a whole different thing, no matter what race they are, that they may need. And everybody should be able to come to the table and try and level things off. You know what I mean? If black women want to have more, get paid more, more than like what it is, 77 or a little bit more than that now, I guess, per dollar for males than men, then we should be working on that. If white women had the same thing, we should be working on that. There's not a lot that we are different on. It's the racism and the misogyny and the xenophobia. xenophobia and the bigotry, all that shit is what controls the fact. They don't want, like, this person doesn't want black people to have anything. This person doesn't want to have trans people to have anything. And you're like, or any person, it's just a group. And by doing that, you destroy everybody's opportunities of rising. If this country said, let's all rise together, no matter whether you're straight, gay, trans, white, black, even racist, it's like, what is your pain point? What do you need? It can't be the person's race. What do you need? You need a bridge in your area. You need this, you need that. You need a program to help you poor in your community. Then we should be able to do that shit. We got more than enough money to do it. Quit lying, America. We had a pandemic for 2 fucking years. Whereas our government sent every human being on the freaking face of the freaking planet, not planet, but United States, a check to some degree. Some people receive millions. Some people receive hundreds of thousands. If we can do that for 2 straight years, you can't tell me we can't solve the problems we got. We just got too many greedy people wanting the whole pot instead of helping the people out. I remember seeing a video recently of a Chinese person, and he broke it down about Americans, and that was just because of this. I don't know if all you guys are on. I don't mean what social media platforms you're on, but I got a lot of them. So I'm on TikTok, and TikTok has been blowing up. I mean, like, I haven't seen this many Chinese people on TikTok like ever. You know what I'm saying? Somehow I got on the side of Chinese TikTok, and every other video was a Chinese person in some factory talking about how we're getting robbed. You know what I'm saying? American citizens. And I'd already made a video about this too, but I'm sitting there like, damn, there's a lot of it. But it's so true. America's gotten ripped off by our own people. By our own people. And we got a president who's skirting the law, basically giving the Supreme Court justices or the Supreme Court the finger, and then trying to rub it in the Supreme Court in America's face by bringing the leader that has the person. The leader came, which means there could have been a plane that followed him that brought the young man here, but didn't. Literally giving this Supreme Court SCOTUS the finger. And that same court gave him immunity. I mean, can they reverse it? I don't know. We need a Uno reverse card like bad. If we could reverse that, say, yo, get that immunity shit out of there. Charge him for something. I'm waiting for somebody to give the 25th Amendment. I mean, this is just ridiculous. How can somebody be tearing a country apart so bad and you can't see it's going toward dictatorship and all you got to do is talk about the conversation? I haven't seen one person on any news station or anything talk about the 25th Amendment. I don't care if it doesn't pass. At least try it. Make it an effort to do something. Supreme Court Justice. We understand that you can't get Donald Trump, but take Pam Bondi's ass into court. Take her to jail. All of them. They can be charged. Impeach them, jail them. Something. Just don't sit there and just allow this shit to happen. Let's see what happens. No, fuck that. Let's not. Let's act like they're acting. It's insane that we got criminals leading our government law offices. The Department of Justice is led by criminals. People who skirt the law. But yet they're supposed to be the law. And their problem with the people we had in before, well, they were breaking laws, they thought, by holding them accountable for breaking the law. So now you got people in that won't hold people accountable for breaking the law. They actually break laws themselves. So that's what America wanted? A bunch of criminals running the country? Mm, mm, mm. It's a damn shame. It's a damn shame. Then said Uno reverse card. Uh, what's up, Chuck Johnson? You said maybe that man has something on DJT. I don't doubt it. You know, I think Donald Trump has a lot on other people. I just can't see why people would. I mean, maybe it's me, but I'm of the mindset that I know that I am mortal, that I'm gonna get called home at some point in time in my life, and I'm not here to just amass all the money that you can't take with you. What's the purpose of this game they're playing? I mean, you really gotta hate the hell out of people that you don't want people to get out of poverty. You just want to take every dime they got and put it in your pocket. What kind of greed is that? We gotta break that cycle, people. This country has led Americans down this form of capitalism that is so maniacal. It cares about no one. And you hear people say, "Oh man, forget capitalism. Let's move to socialism. Let's move." No matter what ism, if racist white men are leading it, it's not gonna be good. No matter what you put it in, no matter what you wrap it in, they hate, they want power, and they want others to feel pain. There is no win in that. It's all lose. Until America realizes that and start putting people in power who give a fuck about people, this country is not going to get better. It's only going to get worse. These people can't possibly care. The thing that gets me, yo, I always ask, you know, I'm not a country, I'm not a country, but I'm not a person who necessarily believes, like, you know, in being I'm no longer a Christian. I'm a person who believes in God, but I can't see how people who say they're Christian, I was like, can literally lead a life and where they do nothing like Jesus and expect to go to heaven. They have Bible verses written around them all over the place. Got it in their bio, got it on their profile page, and ain't nothing Christ-like about them. That shit just bugs the hell out of me. I'm like, dude, let it go already. God is not in your life. Quit making everybody else think it is. It's a ploy to get people to think that you are somebody to be around, that you have a tribe. You don't. You can't have one doing the shit that they're doing, destroying people's lives, taking their money. This country, like I was saying with the Chinese guy, this country has literally, the United States has robbed Americans blind. For the longest time, if you saw my video on YouTube, on TikTok rather, has robbed this American country blind. We've always been told, you know, through politicians and so, oh, China has our number and they're our enemy and all stuff like that. I don't know about all that. I do know they stole patents and made things that brands were losing out on. But in the same vein, these brands did not give a fuck about American citizens. Donald Trump doesn't. They know selling you products that they buy, and most Americans didn't know this, which is a shock to me because I thought every American knew it. But I've been preaching it for years. But there have been a lot of Chinese people coming out and talking about, you know, I don't care whether, you know, America doesn't have us as trade. You guys are like, you know, you're not the only people. Then they cut off our beef. They're getting beef from Australia now. it's it's they basically thumbing their finger at the United States. And I don't like it, but I understand it. I mean, none of us likes bullies. And we all can see that Donald Trump is like one of the major bullies in the world right now. He's causing pain in every country, acting like a little shit. And that's the way he was raised, to be that way, a tyrant. And that's why these people like him, is because he does things that they wish they could do. They love being that hateful. They just never thought they would get power doing so. That's why you hear Steve Bannon say he's once in a lifetime type of guy, because he exposes hate and people celebrate him for it. Before that, when people expose hate like this, they would cast away into a corner like, nobody wants to hear that shit. We passed that already. But he came along as a quote unquote rich guy, having the same ideals as a poor white guy, and them having this weak ideal, like, we should be empowered for doing absolutely nothing but just being white. And therefore they have this grievance, and he is a vehicle in which they put all their poker chips on. And so they went behind the scenes and organized, not being in the news, but organized behind the scenes, having all these different functions to just hate on everybody except for white men. And we are here now because of their inferiority complex. Nobody was thinking like them. Nobody was caring about them the way they wanted to be cared about. They wanted to be the center of attention, and they wanted to be treated like they were just awesome just for being born white. Not doing anything, no merit, nothing else. I should just be treated better because I'm white. And they felt like they weren't. And so they had all these grievances. And now they want to take women's rights away. They did. They ended up taking what you can do with your body away. Said, your body, my rights. That was Charlie Kirk, I believe. Or was that, no, that wasn't Charlie Kirk. That was Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes? Yeah, racist dude. So, but others have said the same thing, or even close. So they're taking people's lives away because they feel aggrieved. Nobody cares about them. How about you be a decent fucking human being and people would care about you? I mean, the vast majority of human beings are good people. It's you that's the shit and a piece of shit, and you want people to treat you like you are the best thing on the planet. How about you being the best thing on the planet? How about striving for that? I mean, what a novel idea. Be a good person. How hard is that? But no, they don't want to be good. They just want to be powerful. And for most Americans, I think they're rising up. I've seen a lot of people start recognizing that America has been robbing, the billionaires and millionaires in America have been robbing the citizens in this country for the longest time. It's about time to rise up. No more buying this Gucci and Fendi and all this shit when you can go to China and get the exact same thing, not stealing anybody's patent, but the exact same build, the exact same leather, suede, sometimes even better, for $10. Birkin bag type of designs instead of 80,000, 1,500. It's death to brands, man, because this shit is ridiculous. We've made these billionaires, and they haven't been doing anything but effing American citizens' lives up. It is because of millionaires and billionaires that we lost these good union jobs. It's because of them that our economy is the way it is. It's because of them right now that we're losing, our Department of Education, that we're losing all these different things. They have put rich white people in positions. I mean, the lady who's over our education, Department of Education, I mean, what does she have or what does she know about it? None whatsoever. She was some type of manager with the WWE or some shit, some wrestling. I'm like, what the fuck do you know about this job? Where do you get the merit? It's not a business. It's a government. It's just insane to me. We have allowed these billionaires to destroy our lives, and all we do is look up to them. I no longer look up to these people. I want to replace them. Because nobody should have that kind of money and care less about people. They got rich on the backs of people who were union people, had good jobs. These people don't want to bring back your union job. Why would you care about people? Why do these people care about us when it was them that made the decision to take your job away? Now they're going to bring it back because they made a bad deal multiple decades ago. It was a good deal for them, bad deal for America. And now they're trying to fix it so that they get a better deal. And guess what that deal is going to be? Bring back some of these things so that they can put robots to work and become competitive, and therefore force China out of the powerful position that we gave them. China wouldn't be in this position if it wasn't for rich billionaires and millionaires that sent their shit over to China to begin with. You can't blame them for actually taking a game that was rigged for them to fail and turning it around and them winning big. We always root for the underdog. Rocky, the guy who would get his ass beat that finally wins the championship, they were knocking out China for decades. Slave labor. These people decided, hey, we're going to build new railways. We're going to educate our people. Ones who are good at math, we're going to put them in programming. Ones who are good at something else, we're going to put them over there. Have them in the marketing. Have them do the factories. Have this and the third. And everybody's lives is going to improve once we get these structures together. Put these structures together, built robots to do most of it. After a while of these people toiling away in these sweatshops, they figured out a better way. America didn't care about none of it. They had no problem with little kids having to sew shoes and Nikes and sweatshops. Remember back in the 80s and shit? In the early 90s, when we were sitting there talking about the liberal people were like, look, it's a sweatshop. I'm not buying it. And Nike had to revamp some things and say, we don't have sweatshops anymore. Although they had like 20 years of it. Or whatever it is, 10 or 15 at that time. And they were moving from one sweatshop to another country with a sweatshop. So we're not going to be in China or Japan no more. Go to Japan to do it. They've been searching throughout the United States, the world rather, to find ways in which they can make these products for $10, for $5, for $20, and sell them for $500 to us. When they say, these billionaires and millionaires and even Trump say that we are the biggest consumers in the world, so they're going to buckle, that's not a compliment to you and me. That's a total diss to me, you and me. Why? Because they know they can sell this crap to you. You guys are the consumers. That's a power that we have. We have all these idiots out here buying too much because we trained them that buying shit is the thing to do. And so we buy their products and their brand when they know this shit ain't even worth it. I told you guys, when I was doing, I had like a shoe company that I was building shoes. It's called Cubani. Actually, this is like a label of it, Cubani. But it's just tastefully blending fashion and technology. But Cubani, I was going all over the United States, couldn't find anywhere to buy these things. I found one company not too far away from not too far away from North Hollywood. Wasn't that far away from there. And this one company was still alive. And through that company, I got a lady who was production, who she went to fashion school and she designed everything. I drew it, but she ended up making the design. She went over to China, and I went to. They told me to get this leather, the best leather. I said I want the best of everything. I don't want no cheap shit, nothing. The actual best. So they sent me to Italy for the leathers, which they were probably getting them, as far as I know, probably getting them from China or Africa. But I went to Italy and got the leather. It was like butter. And like I said, I matched that leather up. Me and my homie used to go around in LA to all the boutique stores in Beverly Hills and all over the place. $5,000 shoes, $10,000 shoes. I went to Santa Barbara. It was like $10,000, $15,000 shoes. And I matched my leather to them. Theirs was trash. Mine was butter. Theirs smelled horribly. Mine smelled like, boy, I love leather smell. Smelled just great. And I used to confront the people there. Most of them were just employees, but I didn't say it in a negative way. I'm like, how is this $5,000? I said, you touch this leather. Okay, now touch this leather. Yours is like pleather. That ain't leather. The hell is that shit? It's like horse ass or something. I don't know what that is, right? And I used to tell people all the time, like, dude, y'all getting so trash. And I guess people thought I was just competing with the company because I had a new shoe and I just wanted my shoe to be sold. No, I was just being honest. If you touch the two, I used to tell people, I said, don't listen to me. Buy your own swath. I got 3 feet by 3 feet. It cost me less than $200. Would make at least 4 to 5 shoes or something like that. And I said, buy your own. It's just like $100, 180 at the most, I think, for delivery. Buy your own shoes. Buy your leather. They'll even send you like the swaths, and or swatches. They'll send you those for free just to test them out. Get a couple, and then go around to your stores and see how much trash the thing. Go in your closet and find the leathers you bought that you don't bought for a few $100s or whatever. Your most expensive thing that you bought. Go match it, and you'll find out you've bought trash with a label on it. I've been saying it for years, and it's crazy how the Chinese people are coming out right now and lighting it up, telling everybody the truth. I'm working on something, and it's crazy. When I put my video out, I've gotten 5 manufacturers in China that have reached out to me and want to work deals with me on certain things, products from electronics to clothing. I gotta look them up and see if they're legit. I'm very skeptical of anybody sending me something, but I guess it's because they saw the video. I'm not sure. So those types of things I'm gonna do probably to compete against the system so that it works for the people and not against them. So that's what I'm gonna start doing, working on that too as well. Um, what did Lynette say? She just said something about Governor Shapiro. Yeah, Governor Shapiro, that was horrible. The guy said he would have hit him in the head with a hammer if he ran into him. These some crazy people. But then I saw there was a clip about Trump. They asked him about it, and he said something to the fact that, oh, that dude didn't like me. The dude that was going to hurt Governor Shapiro. I'm like, dude, what was it about you? Like, why is it about you? This was all about, what do you think about Governor Shapiro? Oh, that dude didn't like me. It wasn't my guy who did it. I'm like, nobody asked you that. At least I don't believe that's what they asked because I didn't see that question. The Chinese people and the tariffs. Are we talking about union stuff? I see where you guys are upset. I'm not trolling. I really do hate stinking unions. No troll here. Just my opinion based on personal experience. Everybody has their opinion for unions. I understand that people who have them about the dues and fees, they wouldn't have helped you either. Yeah. I was in a union for over 20 years. And honestly, I was in two, but one for 20 years, another one for just a few years, like 3 or 4 years. And um, there's pluses and minuses to unions. Um, if you go to the history of unions and the relationship with the people, if you have a good union, that's the thing about it, is there are some really good unions and there's some really sucky unions, and it's based on people's experiences. We had a good union at one point, and then we had a sucky union at another. And what I mean by that, even the same union, it went through waves. It was good, like in the early 90s, like 90. No, it wasn't early 90s. I would say, yeah, 93 to 96, or right there was good. Then like 99 or somewhere around there. Oh, it was just, well, 96, 97 around there. We had, it went bad because our union leader, who was a lawyer, ended up taking money out of our account and buying his girlfriend clothes and bought her a fur coat and all this other shit with our money. So he was messing up the union, and they didn't send him to jail. They tried to cover it up. So that made the entire union kind of a sucky union because you didn't hold him responsible for his actions. And everybody in the union was put in a situation of voting, and we voted to oust this person. Even the fact that it wasn't about prosecution or getting our money back. If he didn't pay the money back, we could prosecute him. So somehow, I guess he was starting to pay the money back. I don't know. So they never put him in jail. They actually gave him his old job back before he became the head of the union, which was insane. Um, which led you to believe that there was something crooked with the union. So there are, I get it. There are very many unions that suck. And then there's very many, like, again, everybody's experience is everybody's experience. I can see your experience was bad. I had good and bad with my union. My first union was excellent. I mean, excellent. I never had a problem. Everything worked out. But again, it was like 3 4 years, but it was the best thing ever. They were always working to make better deals. Within that short period of time, we had we had 2 deals, um, and both of them were excellent. Then got let go or laid off, and got into this other union, IBEW, and it was it was good, then bad, then good, then bad, then okay. But the pay and all that stuff is good. That's the thing about unions, though. A lot of people are trying to break them up, and one of the things you got to give credit to unions for is, if you look at the history, before unions, there was no such thing as a 5 day work week, right? You worked whenever they called you. There was no 8 hour work day. You worked as long as they needed you. Um, so there was a lot. You didn't have vacations like they had for the union. There's so many things that unions have brought uh, to this country that are beneficial to the people. Unions are the main basis for middle class in this country. If it were no unions, these companies would have been paying these people $12 an hour, $15 an hour. There's no doubt. So, but the politics can be a bitch in those things. But the reality is, if you get a job with a union, you're more than likely going to be able to buy a house. You're more than likely going to be able to send your kids off to college. If you don't have one, you more than likely won't, unless you get into some like management position. And that's the part that sucks. So you take the good with the bad. But I understand, I understand people who hate unions, because I got another friend who really got really hurt bad in a union, and not like construction and got hurt that way. I'm talking about financially. Uh, rude and Planet Janet. Let me read this. It says, I know people with unions in my same position that have been taken care of and not screwed over, but unions have been so diminished because of the laws changed by corporations to help them instead. There's a lot of, I mean, I don't know every union, I guess what I say. That's why I don't put everybody in the same boat. I've only belonged to 2, but I've heard many of people talk about their unions and love and adore them, and others didn't like them. There's too much there to in a union for there to be good and bad in them. You have some good leaders, some horrible leaders. Um, but yeah, a lot of one thing I didn't like about the union, again, like the negotiations. I was in entertainment, uh, and they gave away certain things that they would ask us to vote for, and we'd vote for it. We send our union reps to shop stewards and all stuff like that, to these meetings, um, to negotiate, different positions, different things that we had jurisdiction over. And being in television and film and television, you have jurisdiction over certain types of equipment and things of that nature. And they would sell us out like almost every time. Come back and be like, well, we couldn't get this deal done, but we got this. And like, we didn't even want this. You know what I'm saying? So it was like a lot of that. But when it came down to it, you know, um, it was better than not having a union. You may have lost some things, but you still was getting a fatter paycheck than you would if you went to go work at a non-union spot. So it's a catch 22 in many cases. Um, Chuck Johnson was. He said, when I was in business school, one of my Instructors did not like unions much because he felt they did not represent their clients well. Um, they don't all the time. One thing, this is one thing, and this is one thing I vow with any business I do, is that human resources is a joke. I don't care where you go. Human resources is a joke. It is not for the human resource. It's not for the employee, and the employee. It's for the employer. Every human resources has always been for the employer. I don't care what you say. And in my businesses, it's going to be for the people, because they'll literally cover anything up so that the company doesn't look bad. I mean, I recognize that so many times when I was working for big corporations that it sickened me to hear people give an example. A person I knew pretty well. There's this guy who came into the room. He was a white, like adjacent Latin guy. So basically, he was this Latin guy who was kissing the butt crack of every white person trying to get ahead. And so whatever he could do to kiss the ass of white people was fine. And he would always like only talk like down or talk shit to black people. That was it. If you want to let out frustration, he'd go find somebody black and find something they did wrong and go off on them. And I'm the type of person, I don't care what race you are. You're not going off on somebody for something they didn't do in front of me. I don't care a fuck about the job that much. I got to live this life that God gave me. So I would literally go in. If it was in front of me, if I didn't see it, I wouldn't go behind. I had to witness it. So I witnessed this black lady that I was training. And she was been there for like so many years, like 40 years or something like that. But her department closed. She came to my department, and I had to train her on all this technology. So I knew it was going to take a while for her to catch on because she was used to doing other things, nowhere near what we were doing. And so I'm training her, and this Latin dude comes in to the room. Well, mind you, the person who really fucked up what we were doing was the white lady. He passed and came over to the two black people in the room and went off on the black woman. And I was like, yo, what's this all about? Me and her been working. We didn't take care of anything. He said, well, this just happened in that. We were on live TV. He's like, something just happened on air and you guys are in the room, blah, blah, blah. I said, you passed up the white lady. You see, I'm training her. The white lady over there is doing it. So you need to go cuss her out instead of the black woman because she didn't do it. And instead of going to get the white lady and cuss her out like he was cussing her in the room, the black lady in the room while I was standing there, and I stood up for her, and she's like, thank you, and all stuff like that. He didn't say shit to the white lady. He walked out. He was too much of a punk to talk that way to white people. He had no problem talking to black people like that. So when he went back to his room, his office, her phone rang. 10 seconds later, she's looking at us. I'm still training the black lady. She looked over at us all sneakily. She gets up out of her chair and sneaks out of the room. Well, she's the one that's working. I'm like, where you going? I'm like, where the hell you going? He's like, I'm training. You got to work. He's like, where you going? Oh, I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'm like, all right, cool. She goes to the bathroom. She says, I look at her. She walks around out of my sight and back to his office, which I'm sitting there staring at her, looking at her right in his office. And he didn't yell at her, nothing. No argument, no heat like he had for us. And so I decided to tell the lady to, the black lady was in the room. I'm like, hold off for a second. If anything happens, put it on hold, and I'll be right back to help you. She's like, all right, cool. I sneak around the backside, and I'm out the door, sneaking on the door, eavesdropping. And he was apologizing to this white lady. Sorry you had to see that, but they got to be put in their place sometimes. I was like, say what? He apologized to the white lady for fucking up, and that we need to be put in our place sometimes, black people. And he's Latin. I was like, wow. So I witnessed that. So I, on purpose, right after he said that, walked in front of his door, and then did an about face and walked to my office. So he knew I just heard him. So as soon as I get back to the room and that woman comes back, he calls me into his office. What was you doing outside my office? Did you leave her alone? I'm like, I had to use the restroom like she said she had to. You got a problem? We can go to human resources. I can tell them what I heard. Oh no, 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 no. It's all right. It's all right. I just was asking. It's freaking incredible how when that happened and human resources was notified, how nothing happened to him. Nothing happened to him. And in fact, they brought me into the office and said, "Why was you listening in on him?" Because I'm like, because she needed to be in the room to work, and he called her in there to say some racist shit instead of actually doing the job in which she just fucked up on. I didn't say that, but I said she just messed up on. And I said, that's why. He said, well, yeah, she should have been in the room. I'm like, yeah, but he should be fired for what he said. Well, we'll take care of it. Nothing happened. So human resources is a joke. Always has been. Everybody I know who's run into the human resources, that black lady, she sued, and I was her witness, and she won a crap ton of money and quit and retire. So I'm happy for her. She won, but it's very rare because they tried to make that woman look like she was crazy. They was out there having every employee scared of losing their job, saying, I wasn't there, I didn't see it, but she is kind of, slow with the job. They would totally dissing her. And I'm sitting there and they would come back and be in the room saying it. And I'm like, dude, y'all weren't there. It was me, her, and that white lady and that Latin dude. Y'all weren't there. Why are you guys stereotyping this black woman? You don't know what happened when I was in the room. Oh, you were there? I'm like, yeah, I was there. Like, yeah. How the hell y'all go into human resources and lying like you guys knew what happened, what kind of person she is? Just insane. Some simps out there. But again, union type shit. The people in the union aren't really your brothers and sisters, like you would say in a fraternity or sorority. They're not for you. They're only for themselves. I used to think it was gonna be a brotherhood type thing. We was all down for each other. No, nope. It wasn't like that for me. Other people, I'm happy if it was, but for us, it wasn't. Uh, yeah, let's start calling people names up in here, for real, for real. Everybody can have their own opinion. We in here to have our own opinions. Just don't disrespect one another. You can agree to disagree, but don't disrespect. Um, I appreciate it. So those are the things that have happened today and in the last week. Um, I wanted to kind of give people an understanding of what people are saying in the media, and before I get finished, about what we're going through and what we're facing is a constitutional crisis. And a constitutional crisis is like when the rule books or the rule book is broken, and our agreement with each branch of government is that each one of them has equal power, and when one vetoes the other, not within the regular process, because you can have like the House and Senate say something, goes to the government, he can veto the president, he can veto it. But when you go through the courts, the highest court in the land, Supreme Court Justice or Supreme Court of the United States, when you go to them and they make a final decision on the law, just like they made a decision about Roe versus Wade, that's like um, Donald Trump, or at the time Biden, saying, you don't have to follow that. To hell with the Supreme Court. Or when they said that Donald Trump is immune, you're like, no, send him to jail. We ain't even going to listen to that. They would have flipped out if that happened. And that would have been a constitutional crisis because there is an order to follow. And by Trump ignoring the Supreme Court and allowing himself, the executive branch, to refuse to obey the law of the land, then this country no longer is a democracy, because the democracy has order and Trump is out of order. And because same said Supreme Court gave him immunity, and because of some letter, not really the law, but some letter side note out of the Constitution says you can't prosecute a a sitting president. Those things coupled together allows him to do this with impunity. So how do we stop this train wreck? And the only things we can do, which is again, we have to revisit the Constitution and add some amendments if we make it through this president. Every loophole they tried to get through, if we survive it, we need to shut that bitch down. Right? Amendments that no other president in history can do any of this shit that they're trying to do. If so, it should be automatic, kicked out of the office. The entire party gone if they try to do something like that. If the Congress does not act and take over their own jobs, we should be able to boot them out of their positions. They should not be in office corrupt. That's something we need to really focus on getting rid of, because they have blown up the Constitution. And we should make it so that no dictator can ever live as a president in this country, as a leader in this country. And make it punishable by death if they try. Because there is no way that this should ever happen again. Ever. I don't care what the president looked like. I don't care if he's black, white, Latin, Asian, alien. I don't care what they are. No president should ever get back into office or get into office and be able to do what Donald Trump is doing. We have got to execute that law, and we got to also put it at it is treason, punishable by death if you try and take a democracy into a dictatorship. That should be just the law of the land. We shouldn't be sitting here trying to figure out what should we do. No. If this ends and we still have a democracy, they need to throw something like that into play, because I'd be damned if we're going to sit here and allow somebody to take over this country and decide just willy-nilly that we're going to do whatever, skirt the law, become immune for breaking laws. And we also should say nobody, we need to get rid of this other loophole. If you have been charged with a crime, hell, you can't get a license, but you can become president? No, we got to get rid of that shit. You should not be able to run for president if you have any kind of law that you've broken, as far as like a felony. Should never be able to run. You shouldn't be able to put your name up. Disqualified automatically. These are the things we need to get rid of, because if we don't, we put our democracy in a situation of disarray, and therefore can be taken over. These men and women are trying to turn us into a dictatorship. Every time you see them do something, I promise you, go look it up and see what Hitler did. Go look it up and see what other tyrants did back in the day in history. I don't care if you go back to, 1800s, 1700s, wherever you want to go. They have done the exact same thing. If you don't want to go that far back, look at Putin. Look at a bunch of other countries that are recent that have done the exact same thing. He's not doing something new. He is repeating history. And if we don't stop it, it's going to happen. And here's the thing, it's already happening. So we got to figure out a way to stop it from progressing. Because some of these people don't think it's happening yet. And I'm like, I don't see how not. Anybody who ignores the rule of law, the constitutional law, you're breaking it. You're destroying democracy. You're saying that the law doesn't matter. And what do you think that's going to trickle down to? These racist and sexist and xenophobic people and anti-whatever, they're going to see that Donald Trump's not going to charge you if you try and take one of their lives if you happen to be a white male. We need to nip this shit in the bud, or it's going to nip us in the bud. Can't win if we just sit around and do nothing. So call your representatives, tell them that, look, you have got to find a way. And if it ain't about getting Trump out, you got to find a way to be able to fight this back. Whomever, whatever law could be done, and it's disheartening that you spent your whole life following the laws, sticking with the law, thinking that the law of order is good, that everybody who does the law around you, that you know you're safe around. You don't want to go into certain areas because you know there's crime in certain areas, and you know that things can happen. And these people, if it did something to you, they possibly can go to jail and call the cops, and you feel safe to some degree. They're gonna come do whatever. Not necessarily black people, but Americans in general. And when you have this type of rule, why would you call the cops? It's cops are the ones that are snatching people up. Whether they be federal cops or local cops or state cops, they're the ones snatching people up off the street, taking them to dark areas, doing whatever. Lord knows what these people are going through. Then, in the middle of the night, shipping them over to a maximum prison. People that are in this country right now in maximum prisons don't have it as bad as them, and they've committed crimes and murders and have had due process in there for life. These people have not. None of them have. Being a member of a gang is not illegal. The crimes that you commit as a gang member or non-gang member, those are the things that are illegal. There are many white gangs. Being a police officer, you're in a gang. A police officer, along with other police officers, they're the same thing as a gang. So we can just grab police officers, throw them on a bus, and ship them around? No. So quit accepting that shit. No more dictators. No more. We need people who are trying to benefit the people, and I'm working on something for that, and I will let you guys know more about it once I get it to a phase in which I can pitch it to you guys. But I'm always thinking of solutions for better opportunities in life. Get to a place where this country, well, and the thing is, I've given up on the entire country. I think that if we get good people, which I think the majority of us are, to hell with the other 30% or less. To hell with them. Let them do their thing. But if we got good people to help, then we can be able to focus on making it a better place for us. From poor to middle class to even some good rich people. We can make it better for us and put them back on the back burner. But we have to create new technologies, new ideas that benefit the most of us, right? That are good people. And I'm working on that, and got a team of other people working on something else. And I suggest whatever community subset you belong to, you need to start figuring out for your community as well, whether you be gay, bi, trans, black, Latin, good white people. If you got something going on that in your community that needs to be done, I suggest you start doing that too, because it's going to take all of us. We can't be naive and not think that we're not going to have a silo to some degree and help our own people out to some degree, but also help everybody else around you. We can help each other. We don't have to be like so segmented that we can't help. But in one community, let's say there's a majority of black people, they're not going to have the same issues as a community over here that has a lot of white people, even if they're both equally poor or middle class or rich. They got different issues, and there's nothing wrong with that. This whole world and life is all about becoming better with each generation. And the problem I feel that we have is that Peter's looking over on Paul's floor or on his yard trying to see what he got and what she got and all that. And I'm like, dude, just sit and think about what you want for your community. Stop looking at others. What do you want for your community? And if you want this, that, and the third, put that down. And then go to the communities around that have to deal with it. They may have some issues and be like, oh, you want a garden and you want this and you want a bridge. And it's like, we can do those things. And be reasonable though. Understand that there may be something that you can get for your community. All right, there's a shit ton of communities. Think of one thing that you want. Don't be thinking of 700 things for your freaking community, then excluding everybody else's community. That's the horrible thing. Think of things for your community. If it's 3, 4 things, whatever it may be, set number, This community has its set number. And then you guys can determine, especially if you guys are under the same state and the same budget, the things that you want. And y'all can vote on your individual things. If it's coming out of your tax budget, boom. They may need more than you. They may need a complete bridge because their roads and bridges are messed up. Your bridges may be fine. You see what I'm saying? Stop competing and get what's done for your community, and stop looking at somebody else's place and say you want something better without actually looking at the fact that you already had something better. They've already invested in you. You keep wanting, while these people who have nothing and the government hasn't invested in them at all, but yet these communities don't want them to have anything. It's just horrific. Check on your empathy and focus on helping other people. It'll make it a better place. You can't say that you believe in a higher power when all you care about is you. You can't say that you're a Christian or a Muslim or just a good person if you just care about you and yours. Everybody else wants their family taken care of too. And there aren't that many lazy people who can't pull themselves out of their bootstraps because they don't work hard enough. That's bullshit. There are communities that are under funded. There are communities to this day that still don't have too many banks around them that would lend to them. It's insane. So have some empathy. Let's focus on trying to help each community rise a little bit above where they were. There's no reason that there are poor communities that have working people, but they don't own a property, mostly rented. And the money, when it goes to the community, it goes to the owner, which is more than likely white. And that owner takes that money out and puts it towards him and his community, a rich community. And this community never gets anything done because the people who live in it rent it and don't own it. And so when it goes down in value, you blame the people who are brown and black that live in it, but they don't own it. The people who own it aren't taking care of it and making them look like they're not taking care of it. But in reality, it's the owners not taking care of their own property. There's too much of that going around. Too many slumlords, too many people trying to be rich and don't care about nobody. We need to have a revolution of people who give a damn. We need to have a new revolution on brands. I'm focusing on getting good products with no names. Just like, fuck brands. I'm tired of it. I want just to have good product. I don't give a damn what's on it. Swoop, 3 stripes, fuck all that. You're not going to make a mint off of me if you're not going to take care of the people in which I would hope that you would give a damn about. There's no need in making people wealthy who care about nobody but themselves. You don't deserve my money nor my time. And we need to start getting brands that are like that, interested in the people. I always thought if you help the least of us, you help the most of us. And so if you focus on helping, being of service, your life will be in turn given all that you were created to be. That's it. You don't have to be sitting here ripping off people, robbing people. Hopefully we can get people to think like this. Hopefully we can get people to back something like this. And I'll keep telling you guys more and more about it. But I'm working on 2 actual projects right now, trying to get us to that phase. And like I said, I'll let you know what it's about. But I'm going to connect with these people from China to see if I can get great products and sell them for cheap so that people can have quality and not be ripped off. And there's a little special part of it where I want to help people in the process. So we'll keep focusing on that and let you know as we develop it. Because my whole thing is, before I get called home, is to be able to help people and care about the most of us. And those people who are racist and sexist and xenophobic and hateful, I don't give a shit where you live or die. I don't give a shit about you. I ain't trying to convert you. Live that life of hate. Go for it. Just know you'll never enter the gates of heaven doing that. And for the rest of us, let's focus on the we and not the me. Figure out a way you can help your neighbors. And it doesn't always have to be financial. You can just be a good person to them. You can see them down and offer them an ear. You know what I'm saying? It's not that hard. And trust me, it'll make your life even better Um, Oftentimes I miss those times when I grew up when a neighbor could come over and get sugar. Neighbor can come over and have a conversation, bring over a pie, and you just eat coffee and have the pie and talk about everything in the neighborhood, and then go home and have a great day and say, "Take care, Miss Johnson." And I miss that shit. We've gotten so far away from that. I think we should get that back. And I think we're halfway there through technology. So we'll see. Um, Stay strong, then. We need strength. We can get there, get through this. Yeah, we can get through it. So I thank you guys for coming, hanging out. Hopefully I've taught something worth a damn. You guys. Hopefully I said something that you found interesting and to grow on. If you haven't become a member or haven't subscribed, please do. You should be able to see that on the link. If you can donate, I appreciate that as well. The Cash App and things like that are below, which you can see. Hopefully, you can see it. Yeah, you can see it. You can be able to help out that way. I'm always working on something for the betterment of people who are good people. Like I said, I don't care about bad people. I'm done with it. I'm not trying to convert nobody. I look at it this way: if you do good and you love on people, now I'm not gonna sit there and be a simp. If you lie to me, of course I'm gonna lie into your ass. It's just who I am. But as far as everything else goes, I am going to be as good a person that I can possibly be. If you do that, we can make this a better world. We don't need everybody. We just need the people who are like this to finally say, I'm done with those people. I'm not going to sit there and try and normalize evil. I'm not going to sit here and try and normalize people who do things wrong and say they have some good things about them. No, that is ridiculous. Nobody else does that. You don't go to when Jeffrey Dahmer was alive. I bet he makes good cookies. So what the fuck are you talking about? He ate people. What the fuck about what he ate? What he good he did? And we're doing that with Trump. Oh, I bet he's. I'm like, that's a rapist you're talking about. A dude who stole hundreds of millions of dollars from citizens. You're talking about him like he's the next door neighbor that comes over every once in a while and has a beer. No, stop it, stop it, please just stop it. You're lessening humanity. You're trying to blend in demons with good humans. Nope, not gonna have it. I would never sit down at the table and have a beer with a demon, not knowingly. And that's what Bill Maher did, and that's what everybody else is doing, and I'm not gonna have it. Never. You won't catch me. I have too much pride in myself and humanity than to sit next to somebody and try to normalize crazy. Not gonna happen. So anyway, I just listened to most of what you talk about, trying to stay positive, but damn. Yeah, it's crazy. It's kind of hard to do that, to stay positive and a lot of stuff, but I'm staying positive on the good people, right? Like you guys in here, I'm positive with you guys as far as like I'm trying to create solutions for the problems. But I report the negative because again, I want people to know and not be in the dark. You have to pay attention to what is going on. This is what happens, and if you look at history with dictatorships, they nullify you with just like a bunch of crap going on, and you want to seek the positive. But if you do that, you ignore the negative, and that's what they want you to do. Ignore that and escape away into uh, this cycle of I'm trying escapism. While this starts to get worse and worse and worse and worse, but as it does, it becomes normal. That's what they want you to feel like. This pain is just normal. Then it becomes dulling, and you're seeking the positive, but the negative just keeps getting stronger and stronger, and you normalize it. We don't need to normalize it. We need to literally go at it hard. But amongst ourselves, we can find positivity in ourselves for doing good. But we got to fight that demon. We just can't let it just grow and grow and grow. it's metastasizing, and we got to stop it from growing. Like I said, call your representatives in your city, in your state, whatever issues you have with this that's going on, let them know and ask them, what are they doing about it? Do they see it? Mention, this is the same thing that Hitler did. What are you doing about it? Look up your history. I don't know if you know your history, Senator. I don't know if you know your history, Representative. But in history, Hitler's doing the same thing as Trump. Why are you letting it pass? And especially if you're living in one of the red districts, you should be calling them and saying, you represent me too. Why aren't you fighting against this dictator type attitude? Do your job. We didn't send you here for you to sit on your thumbs and collect the check. It's your job to fight this. This is not your friend. This is your job. You don't work for him. You work for us in the Constitution. You need to let your representatives know this. Call them, text them, write them, get on their pages, let them know. Go to the meetings that they have, if they have any, and tell them what you feel. That's how you do it. As we rise up, we win. As we sit down, we lose. As we normalize, we lose. That fight should allow us to find some positive in what we're doing. We're fighting it. That's the positive. We have to fight it. And on the other side of it, we'll have joy if we win. But we can't sit back and win. There's no way. If we sit back, we're 100% losing. So whatever you can do, whether it be a call, go live and talk about it like I'm doing, go out in the streets if you want to go do such a thing, text, email, just get it out there. Put a sign in your yard, whatever. Fight back. Don't fall asleep. Wake up. All right. Thank you, Troy. I appreciate it. I am here to learn and grow. Oh, I know you're not a troll, bro. I didn't think it was a troll. What's up, Bigot? Thank you for it. DJ. Thank you, DJ. Good night. Take care. So thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you. I didn't believe anybody's a troll. Like I said, when we're in this room, we're learning, right? We're growing. Of course, people are going to get mad about certain things, not like certain things. We are not a monolith. But again, let's agree to disagree on some things, right? Without being disagreeable. And understand that what you may want in life, that's fine. And I'm pretty sure in your community, other people might want it. But have respect for what other people may need in their communities. It's not a competition. If we can stop working for 2 years and receive a check from the government, or at least work part-time for 2 years, we can actually help out each community with our tax dollars. This democracy, this world is a we thing, not a me thing. We all are living in it. And if we stop focusing on how much I'm paying for taxes as opposed to you, your community is what you chose to live in. If it's more taxes in your community, then so be it. But you know your taxes are going to the state, and that the state is going to take care of the people in the state, not just your community. So you have to figure out, if you're worried about that, go live in a poor community. You won't have to put that much money in. But regardless, you got to be able to have a we thing. Focus on all of us. There are people who are less fortunate than you, not because they're lazy, because the opportunities weren't there for them. Trust me, if you have a better life and you think because you're in a better life that you worked harder, promise you, go to a poor community, in a safe community that you may find, and see how hard these people work. They just don't get paid as much as you. They didn't have the opportunities as you. They don't have the connections like you. They may not have the parental situation like you. These are not things that they could control. These are things that they were dealt with and they had to live and survive with. But if you gave these same people the same upbringing and opportunity as you, they would be surviving like you and thriving like you, or whatever it may be, just like you, because they would have those same connections as you, or close to it, or access to those connections. But when you're in a situation where nobody of economic substance ever comes to your community to educate you. I grew up in a poor community until I moved to a middle class community when I got bused. In my poor community, we didn't have hardly anybody. Police officers come to our community and talk to us. We were over policed in the poor community. Nobody wanted to see a cop. They was always pulling you over for nothing. But that's who you saw in your schools, things of that nature. Were there business people coming and speaking to us? No. Were there mayors and lawyers coming to speak at our schools when we was in the poorer communities? No. When I got busted at white school, shit, I had professional golfers coming, basketball players coming, professional speakers coming. They had a golf course right across the street from my school that we had access to. Come on, man. Realize people just didn't have the opportunity. It ain't about lazy. It's about opportunity. So once we get these stereotypes out of our head, because there are lazy and poor attitude people in every community, from billionaires to broke. It's about people having opportunities and somebody giving them a clue on how to take advantage of it. Once we can get there, we can get anywhere. Look out for people, not just step over them. Stop and give people some knowledge, care, and we can turn it into the place that we all want it to be. Your family should be able to get ahead. My family should be able to get ahead and not compete about it. We're not always looking for the same thing. We're not a monolith. So if I can care about your son or your daughter and you, there's no reason why you can't do the same for me. If we can get there, we can make this a better place to live. If we can't, then we're stuck. It's up to you. All right? Much love to y'all. Y'all take it easy. I'll see some of you guys, excuse me, tomorrow. Others, we'll see each other whenever you decide to come back. I'm on TikTok as well. I'm not gonna go live. I may go live later. I don't know, late in the evening, but right now your boy's about to get something to eat. But I appreciate y'all. Much love to y'all. Always, I want you guys to seek knowledge and bring facts in here, and don't be afraid to have an opinion. But just like I said, be kind to each other. No name calling, please. No name calling. We can always, focus on other things, like we can agree to disagree. But when it comes down to it, we care about each other. All right? We care about each other. We may have difference of opinions, but here's the thing. It's coming from life experiences. And if we can be able to educate each other about our experiences and tell each other like why you come about that version, or why you think it's like that, or why the opposite, we can always have these debates which actually help us grow and help us understand where we're coming from without a hateful or spiteful foundation to it. But you can always say it, and if it's anger and something that happened to you, let it out, but don't let it out on another person. Let it out on the topic itself, so that we can be able to have that openness, and that everybody doesn't have to be like a monolith, but we do want to have respect. You feel me? All right. You guys, always much love to y'all. Y'all take it easy. Have a good night, and I'll see you when I see you.